Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the club is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, that ain't hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truon. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chap. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing, while he's dojo training hours a day, playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the club is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see, cause he got more follows than my boy Eric Dicey. Opinions on Magnus, Hans, and Karyakin, who cheated who, which engine that ain't hacking. He got blocked by Short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong, he scored a like from Truon. He's got lightning attacks on GM blunders and gaffes, true not over the board, it's only the other chap. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo. I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm. He even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for ELO farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis. With lengthy game analysis, with sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally he peeps the world of the tweak and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training hours a day, playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion.
Hello everyone, welcome to Chat's Dojo stream. Today we will be covering Kostya's game in round number 3. So yeah, let's see. Unfortunately, we had some problem with broadcast, so we are starting from move number 11. And we also have a live feed, so we can see the moves being made in real time. Black is thinking, let's see what will he play. Maybe something like this, chasing bishop, and then maybe we can drop back and claim that this knight is doing nothing here. What do you guys think? It looks like interesting position, and this bishop may be really nice in the future if we manage to open like this diagonal. Well, I don't know how is black going to develop this bishop. Hello Sam. So it was preparation until h6. Okay. Kostya played h4 here. And now I think that black is out of preparation too, because he's thinking for a long time. Unfortunately, we can't see the time because clock is not working here. But so you think that h4 was unnecessary? Maybe, yeah, maybe white could have played something simple like knight to c3 here. Yeah, that's developing. And now what would black play? Maybe he can still go for this. Okay, if g5, we drop it back. Yeah. And if knight to h5, we can also draw back. Now maybe what does black play here? If he takes, we play e4. And it looks great for white. Maybe here we can play queen c2. Actually, after h5 move. Like this here. And now this. f5. Yeah, it looks like black has good grip on the center with this stone wall setup. But here maybe I could play knight e5, and if he trades something like this. Okay. Sam, what do you think? What black should play here? Oh yeah, he went knight to h5. So he managed to guess his move. Now white probably should draw back to d2. And now f5. What if white plays something simple here? Maybe knight to c3. Can black take this pawn now? So you were thinking about this? Okay, now we can see time on chess.com too. Okay. And Kostya plays bishop to d2. Our video is not synced with the board, so let's try to fix it. Okay. Okay, now I think it's synced with the board. Okay. He returns back to f6. Okay, they are thinking. Maybe b3 is here a move. But now he can jump with his knight to e4. And now, in order to save our bishop, we would need to play something like bishop e3, and now it doesn't look great for white. He can play f5 and establish total control. Okay, bishop f4. Kostya is repeating the position. Yeah, we have bishop f4 again. Sam, what do you think about bishop f4? Yeah. Now black needs to find something. Maybe b6. And now maybe we can take. He takes. And now we jump with the knight. What would black play here? If we could open this bishop, that would be absolutely great. Maybe he will decide to repeat again. Knight h5. And now he can drop back again, or maybe go here. Bishop a3. But now there is maybe f5. Yeah, d2 looks better. Maybe d2 and then he can play f5. And now maybe, can we take here? It looks like black has better control here, this position. I don't think that taking is good option. Okay. Maybe knight e6 is a move. So now yeah, if we play like this, he would need to drop back again. But now maybe like b6. And now white can develop normally, probably like something like this, knight to c3, and now e6. I think that here we can take and then maybe even play something like this. Apparently this is supposed to be equal, but I think that it's easier to play for white these type of positions. But black has to find a plan here. Okay. think that black made the move. Yeah, black plays knight h5. Now, is Kostya going to play bishop d2? Something else? He is thinking. He is thinking. Maybe here black can even play like b5. And maybe we can take. b5 looks good for black. Maybe we can take here, but still like, I don't know, let's play something like queen c2, and now he develops his bishop. So b5, this, now queen c6, there is bishop a6, and this queen is running out of squares. Okay, so maybe we can play knight e5 here. Knight takes, we take. He takes here. Now this, trapping the knight. Let's check this. Maybe black should play something else here. Okay, we have move. Black made the move. He plays f5. f5. What now? Yeah, improved stone wall. Maybe, what does white need to play here? Maybe just developing this knight. Like, yeah. And now black. Does black play? He can even go back, I think, like this. But with this knight to c3, we are also kind of stopping b5. So this seems like a good option for white. Okay, let's say knight black returns back to f6. Maybe now we can jump to e5. Okay, I think we are back. We had small problem with the stream connection. Seems like we are having problems with the connection. My stream is stopping on both YouTube and Twitch. So I hope that this is not going to be a problem, that we can continue. Okay. What about queen c2 here? Queen c2. And now maybe we can play this other knight to f6. This looks like nice setup for black. Okay. Yeah, but now if we play queen c2, we allow black to go for this plan with b5. b5. Now we takes back. Now maybe we can play a3. Maybe we can play b3 here, but can black play b5 here? b5 takes. But this looks like a better version for white than in that queen c2 variation. Question is, what do we play here? Maybe queen c6. But now in black can play rook a6. And we know if we can take this pawn. It looks dangerous. Because if we take the pawn, this now can take this one too. Okay, this actually seems good for white. This looks good for white. Okay, Kostya is still thinking. But knight c3 looks like the best move here. Knight c3. And now black has a couple of options. He can drop his knight back. Maybe he can even play queen e8. Something like this. But I think we can normally develop with queen to c2. But now black has f4. Now this kind of looks dangerous. Or king looks. King is too open. Now probably queen g6. Queen g6. Actually can play. I'm blundering the queen. But this pawn is hanging. Okay, we have the move. Kostya played knight to e5 and he spent 15 minutes thinking for this move. If he takes, we take back. And now he plays, plays bishop to d7. Kind of breaking the pin. But black has other options here too. Maybe f4 now. Because again, if we take, it doesn't look good. And we are going to lose this pawn too. Sam, what do you think about this position? If you are still here in the chat. f4. Maybe we can play g4, but this pawn, we're going to lose it. Probably in the future. Let's see, g4. Okay, knight goes back. Now we maybe can play something like this. Taking this bishop and getting bishop pair. But still we are losing this pawn, so we are losing g4. This. Again, this king doesn't look safe at all. That's bad. Okay, black played queen to e8. He did not find f4. Yeah, this was like very interesting position. Okay. How do you mean that wasn't a game? Someone in the chat says. Probably now we can play bishop f3, chasing this knight away. Yeah, f4 line. It wasn't in the game. In the game, black played queen to e8. Now bishop f3 seems like interesting option. But I don't know if it is good for us to trade this knight. Black can also go like bishop d6. Okay, we have the move. Kostya played knight to c3. Knight to c3. But I think black can still play bishop to d6. And what now? Don't think that trading the knight is a good option. Maybe we can drop back. Yeah, it looks hard to find a plan for white here. I mean, his knight looks very strong, but he can trade it. And it still looks like it's hard to play against this setup. Let's check this variation again. So here we take, takes back, c5, don't think that c5 does much because he can just drop back to c7. Now his bishops are kind of entering the game. If he manages to push these pawns. Thank you for the follow, Dino123. I hope that I managed to pronounce your name correctly. The question is, what if black plays f4 here? This f4 looks really unpleasant for white. But I don't see the way how he could have stopped that move before. So f4, and if we take this looks really bad. So what do we play here? Again, there is g4, but he drops back. Now our pawns look like they are overextended. And if we take this one, you can take this. This is also hanging. So that doesn't look nice. Okay, it seems like we have moves on the board. So white moment. Yeah, so looks like black played bishop to d6. Now white took. He played this. And they decided to go down this variation that we checked before. Actually, Kostya played c5 and now black has two options. Actually three options. Bishop to e7, bishop to b8 or bishop to c7. And black is thinking. But I don't see moves on the board, so maybe they didn't go with that variation. Let's wait and see until we can see the moves on chess.com. On the live feed we can see that black is still thinking. Maybe after d6, instead of taking, he can drop back, but it doesn't look good for white. Going back to f3 with the knight. And now he also has e5, opening everything. But maybe this is good for white. Yeah, this looks good for white. Okay, now we have the move. He played knight to f6. He returned his knight back. Okay. And maybe bishop f4 here. Bishop d6. But I think bishop f4 is good because we are stopping potential f4 ideas in the future if he takes. I mean, now maybe queen to c2. Then if he takes something like this. Now I don't know, this looks hard to evaluate. Okay, Kostya has returned back to board. Let's see. So bishop f4. Maybe he takes first. And now maybe dropping the bishop back to d2 is the best option here. We drop the bishop. And now what does black play? Maybe bishop to d7, preparing, I don't know, something like b5, expanding here. But it looks like it is pleasant position for white now. Okay, we have a live feed again, so we can watch them thinking. Now what are other options here instead of bishop f4? Bishop f4 seems logical. What if black decides to take the pawn here? And this is the question. But it kind of looks good because this bishop is starting to work. Maybe knight to a4, trying to jump somewhere. Maybe he can play knight. Maybe he can play b5 and now. But now we have this knight b6. And we can claim that we have bishop pair. And now maybe you can play something like this. Start going after this pawns, and this bishop is absolute beast. If he takes, this pawn is under attack. But also this one is king. I don't know about this endgame. This knight is restricted. We have bishop pair. Seems better for white. Okay, Kostya is still thinking. Maybe something like b3 is also playable. Now if he takes, going for something like this. Or actually if he takes this. Yeah. Probably black can play b5 here. But let's see what's going to happen. I think that he's probably going to play bishop to f4. What do you guys think in the chat? Which side would you prefer? Okay, he plays bishop f4 in the game. Now black has multiple options. He can take, he can play, he can take and play knight to h5. Maybe he can also play knight to h5 first. These two moves seems like a main option. Okay, he takes. Now, what if he goes back? Now maybe we can play b3. Black is thinking. Which option is he going to choose? Both of them seem interesting, but I think the position is slightly more pleasant for white now. Okay, let's look into knight to h5. Maybe we can just play bishop to d2 again. We take back with the pawn. And his knight is again restricted. He does not have access to this f6 square. And that's really nice. But the bad thing is that we can take, because if we take, let's say, black plays something. These pawns are completely restricting this bishop, and this pawn is weak, so we can take. Maybe black can play queen to d6, getting his queen to a more active position and preparing now f4. Yeah, this variation, it is bad because white again has to take care of f4. We would need to prevent it in some way, but this was like really bad. Okay, black is still thinking. But it definitely looks like that it is critical moment in the game. So this looks like important decision for black to play, so he's probably going to think for a while. What do you guys think about this position? What plan would you recommend for both sides, for black and white? Yeah, we can add eval bar. It is equal. But I would prefer white in this position. Thank you for the raid, Jess24. Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. We are following game of our chess dojo sensei, international master Kostya, and we have this position on the board. Now black has a really important decision to make. He can play knight to h5, or he can take and then play knight to h5 or go back. What do you guys think about this position? And the good thing is that he doesn't have the b5 here. With that plan. And if he decides to go h5, we can drop back with the bishop, but probably we can also take and then play bishop to e5 maybe. And now it looks nice for white. But now since he has developed bishop to d7, now he has b5. We take, but it seems equal. Maybe black is a little bit better in this variation. But it is a critical moment in the game. Black is still thinking. Okay, so knight to h5. What if he drop back? Now, yeah, this going back with the bishop doesn't seem like it is a good option, but maybe even with e3 is a move. And now if he takes, we have a nice control over dark squares. But black has bishop pair, so the good thing is that his bishop pair is not useful here because his bishop pair looks absolutely awful. It does not look good at all. Now white is better here in this position. And if he takes, take with b pawn. placing our pawns on dark squares. Yeah, title could be round 3. We did not change that. Oftentimes we have technical problems with these titles, so it stayed the same. Nobody changed them in the last for today actually. But we are going to fix that for the next stream. Here maybe we can even gambit this pawn like this. Now he takes, we take back, and now we are applying some pressure with this bishop and this rook. Also maybe we are looking to start jumping with the knight and say like black plays bishop to d7, play knight to a4, plays this, and now we have fork. But also, I mean, if the moment he plays b5, his bishop is going to become way stronger than his. And black is still thinking. He's really spending a lot of time on this move. He's spending a lot of time. Okay. And if he plays this, maybe we play rook to b1. Now preparing this plan in the future. Let's see. Probably plays knight to c5. Now, yeah, we can play this because of knight to b3. But we can play like bishop to e3 or b6, and we can trade this. And go knight to a4. And now he has to give up his dark squared bishop. So I say play something like this. We take. We can take here. Oh, these two bishops are on the same diagonal. But this pawn is hanging. So yeah, now we are pawn up. But still, it is equal, but white is slightly better, even here. But black again has this option to play f4, which seems hard to deal with. But now we can play g4 because there is no there. We don't have any ignite here. The good thing that okay, I thought that black made a move, but he's still thinking. The good thing is that Kostya has way more time on his clock. Let's see. Maybe black can play also something like a4, and now white has to move. But I think we can play this. Now after this, yeah, this looks like it should be better for white. Engine agrees with me. What do you guys think? What is the best option for black here? What is black going to play? Okay, so you say knight h7. Okay, now we can take. Yeah, this looks also like a good plan for black. To take on a5, e5 first. Okay, so he takes, take back, and now knight to h7. Okay. Maybe something like b3. Now g5. We take, he takes back, and now we are forced to drop back. Yeah, this also looks like good plan. And now f4. King side is completely opening. Black is still thinking. It's probably been like 30 minutes since Kostya made his move. Maybe we can take this and now take with the bishop. And now what does black have here, because his king is also open. Yeah, this is good for white. Okay, he plays knight takes e5. Okay, they are making moves on the board. Let's see what is Kostya going to play. So yeah, this looks like interesting for both sides, but I think that Kostya has took back with the pawn. And now, what did black play? We can see it clearly in the video. Let's see. He can take with the bishop too, but now there is knight to g4. For example, a3 now, this. But still maybe this is good for white. And again we can sacrifice this pawn. The idea to open this position and also play knight to a4. For example, bishop should be 4. Now I think that it's, yeah, now white has to play knight to a2, chasing this bishop away, because if he plays knight to a4, there is, but still I think we are able to get this bishop, but I don't think that it's worth it going after this bishop, because this bishop is passive and bad anyway. And the point here is that it's not easy for him to push these pawns, since this, if it is diagonal open, then this bishop is going to be too strong. Okay, Kostya is still thinking, and still we can see the move. We are waiting for the broadcast. Okay. We already checked this position before. Let's look again. Yeah, probably, yeah, bishop d2 is the best move. And now black also has multiple options. But it's still tricky for him, like, how is he going to develop this guy? How is he going to develop this bishop? He can play this with the idea maybe to start pushing pawns on queen side, but he can play knight to a4 here, and now if this, we still go knight to e6. And this pawn is also hanging. This doesn't look good for black. Okay. Now we can see Kostya took with the pawn. Let's see if black is going to go down this line. Maybe he can play better move here, but it is really hard to find plan for black here, since this knight is doing nothing. And bishops, these bishops are at least doing something. Let's see. Maybe instead of bishop to d7, well, I can play rook to b8 first. And now, if you play knight to a4, you can play b6. Taking this pawn with the rook. And what do we play here? Probably like b3. And now, what now? Yeah, it feels like it is easier a little bit to play for white, because black has more problems to solve in this position than white. Like he has, this knight is bad, this bishop is doing nothing. This pawn can get weak in the future. This diagonal to his king is open. So let's see. What are other possible options for black here? What do you guys think? Feel free to write your moves in the chat. What do you think? What is the best option for black here? After bishop to d2. I think that Kostya is going to play bishop to d2. And I don't... If black decides to go with this variation. But maybe black can also choose to play something like this, knight to e4. And now, if we take with the f pawn, And now this bishop is completely restricted. This bishop now looks really bad. Bishop doesn't look good at all now in this variation. Knight to e4 seems to be the best move for black. Now white has to find a good response. I don't think that taking the knight is a good option. Probably something simple like queen to c2 is the best option here. Now rook to b8. Now maybe rook to c1. Okay, he played knight to e4 in the game. So let's see. What will Kostya play now? What is Kostya going to play now? What is good for white? Maybe b3 is also playable. b3. And now maybe again rook b8. And here we have slow positional battle. Yeah, the problem is that this knight is too strong now. Okay, Kostya is returning back to board. Let's see. What decision is he going to make? This is equal position, but now, I mean, both of the sides have something. This knight really looks great here. The good thing for Kostya is that he has way more time on the clock and is move number 19. Okay, Kostya decided to take the knight. Now he has two options. He can take with the d pawn or he can take with the f pawn. The better option is to take with the f pawn. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, he took with the f pawn. Now this is a little bit better for black. Probably the move for white is here is f3. Now, what does black play? He has multiple options. Queen to g6 seems interesting. Let's see. And now maybe king to h2, protecting this pawn, and also getting away from this file. Kostya is thinking f3. If he takes, we take with the bishop. Now this looks better for white. Bishop d7. Now maybe he can play king to h2 again, and now go for this plan. Maybe he can play also something like this, with the idea to develop his bishop on b7. I think we can take. Now he takes here. We have these double pawns. And this doesn't look great actually for white. So I think probably white can take here. Find something like b3. Apparently, this is a little bit better for black. But I think for humans it should be equal. Okay, we have f3 on the board. Now let's see. What will black play now? Which decision will he make? I think that he can take. So maybe he can, but I think that this idea is good for white. At least it gives white attacking chances. I think here we can even play rook to f1, or let's see. Yeah, apparently here black has queen to f5. Now we can't put this pawn because if we put this pawn, he's going to take this bishop with the check, and we are going to lose the exchange. So let's see. He can also give check here, but we can block it, or we can also play king to h2 here too. And now again, we are not threatening to take here, because if he take here, he's going to take on c4, and we are going to have these weak doubled pawns. Black is still thinking. Maybe black can play something like this first too. Now if he take, he's going to take here, and also he's eyeing this pawn. And now king to h2. And it really looks unclear. And if you take this, actually black has to protect this one. Yeah, b5. Now maybe this, and he takes. We have queen to c6. Rook to b8, and now we take the pawn. And we are pawn up, but this pawn is too weak, and now black plays this move. But still, white has queen d7. It really looks unclear for both sides. It is around equal, but I think if Kostya continues to play fast like this, black is going to have problems with his time management. So let's see what's going to happen. Black is again taking a lot of time. And he has again a lot of different plans and decisions to make. So b6, he takes d5, d takes d4, yeah, we can play this. Why? Because yeah, now black starts to attack. So we can take this pawn. We actually have to play king h2 first. So this move doesn't come with the check. But the bad thing is that in these variations he can play b5 because for bishop is not playing this pawn because of these two weak double pawns, and his pawn is bad for us actually. And now here, if we play this, we can take this pawn because queen is protecting that one. But let's see. Black is getting under 20 minutes. And it's still move number 20. So they still have to make 20 more moves to get extra time. He's really taking a long thing for this one. This international master is rated 2468. So if Kostya can get win in this game, it would be great for him because he would get a lot of rating points, and we can see the move on the board. He decided to play bishop c5 check after thinking for 10 minutes. Unfortunately, we did not show any of Jesse's games that he's playing in senior championship, but we should be covering all the games that Sensei Kostya plays in this week. So that's going to be great. Okay. Now he can block with the bishop. And if he takes... Now I think that we are actually threatening to take this one. So he can take. And we take it back with the pawn. And now this looks great for white. By the way, today we have Blitz tournament in Chess Dojo Liga, so if you have time, feel free to check information about it in our Discord or on our website chessdojo.club. Now Kostya has a lot of time to think and to make his move. But this absolutely seems great for white if he blocks it with the bishop. And also, the point is that here black can't play b5 because if this bishop opens in the future, it's going to be amazing. And we can take this file. And if something like this, we have bishop, we have queen to b6. And he has to play rook f7 here. And this queen is really active, putting pressure on all these points. And probably our next move is going to be this. Let's see. Okay. We drop back. Okay, we have move on the board. Kostya played bishop to e3. He found the only move. And now white is better. And now white has better position, and also white has way more time on the clock. Now he can take, or he can play queen e7. And then we can play king h2, getting away from this diagonal. Okay, we have the move. He plays queen e7. Now we can take, play king to h2, or maybe play f4. f4 seems nice too. And I don't see a way for black to exploit this weakness in the future. Maybe if he opens everything, but I think that it will be risky for him to do that. Let's see. Kostya is thinking. What do you guys think? What would you play as white here? Or king h2? Or maybe even something like queen c3? King h2 seems to be the best option for white. But let's see. Kostya has a lot of time on his clock. And okay, we see move on the board. Kostya has played king h2. He finds the best move. Now white is better. See what is he going to play. Will he decide to go for this variation that we looked earlier? Now bishop d7 and we play f4. This seems good for white. The good thing is that black is slowly getting into time trouble because it's move number 22 and he has only 16 minutes on his clock. While Kostya has 46 minutes. Let's see. Okay, he decides to play b6. Guys, I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so we are back. Let's see what options does white have here. You can even take the bishop and then take here and offer the queen trade. Berlin. If you want to choose between these two. But it depends what type of player you are. Clean and positional. That's a nice username. And now Kostya is taking his time to think. You can also trade. Now take here. Maybe here check. Bishop e6 and now to take with the queen. This looks nice for white. He's pawn up and he's eyeing this pawn. Although there are a lot of possibilities with these rooks. Maybe rook here also. But what would black probably has to play something like this. And now we can play rook to c1 and start applying pressure to these pawns. This looks great for white. If black decides to go down this variation, of course. Let's see. What do you guys think about this position? Feel free to write your moves in the chat so we can talk about it. White can also play something like this, but now black has this move. Yeah. Or maybe to take here first. Now with this. We have absolutely great position, and this bishop is absolutely amazing. So he has to take here. And maybe we again have this pawn sacrifice, but it's questionable. Okay, we take on d5. Now he probably takes like this. Take here. Take the back. You mean something like this? Yeah, this definitely looks great for white. Bishop a6 and all this. And white is controlling. Nice squares. Although computer say that it's equal, I think that this is for humans way easier to play for white. And also the white is the one applying pressure on black's position. Yeah, these pawns all seem like a big targets for white, but also white has its own weak pawns. But I would prefer white in this position. Let's see, Kostya is still thinking. He's using his time now. Let's see what is going to happen. But slowly position is starting to open. Now we have two options. We can take bishop, or we can play CD first. We can take with the queen. Here we can trade it and trade here. And also this endgame looks better for white. Now Kosei is taking a lot of time for this one. And it is important decision for him to make. Again, it seems like we had a problem. Okay. I hope that stream is now working correctly because we had a problem. But let's see. Yeah, it should be working now. So we have b6 in the game, and now Kostya is thinking. Now he again has a lot of important decision to make. Okay. Okay, so he can trade queens. But if we enter this endgame, yeah. Sam, what do you think about this? It looks like that it should be really good for white. Okay, so Kostya decided to take the bishop. Okay, black took with the pawn. Black doesn't want to go into endgame. Now maybe we take here. And if he takes, we have this absolutely great bishop. Or rook d6. Yeah, so far I managed to guess a lot of moves. d4. Yeah, but now we can play e3. But after e3, maybe rook d8. But now we can take or maybe play this. Yeah, it looks like white pieces are faster in this endgame. I mean, like his pieces are more active and they will come to these squares really fast. Like this rook is really passive, so rook d8, and now maybe queen c7, or actually queen c2 or queen d2 after, let's say, what black plays here. Okay, let's say rook a7, now queen d2, and this rook is going to d1. Yeah, but if we manage, if white can manage to take this pawn and then put his rook here, and then to start applying pressure with this bishop can be actually really useful. Yeah, and now we have this maybe. Yeah, this would definitely be great. Okay, so we have move on the board. Kostya decided to play f takes e4. Let's see if black is going to play d4. Yeah, he played d4. Now e3. And we see e3 on the board. I think that this is some type of Catalan opening, but Sam in the chat can explain it to you better, since I think that they prepared this opening. They prepared for this game together with Kostya. Okay. Black plays rook d8. Yeah, that's great, Sam. Rook d8, and now let's see if Kostya will go down the line. We were looking into the rook d3 line. Rook d3, rook e7, and now queen d2. White has to be better here. This looks nice now. When will White obtain victory? White is better, but there is still a lot of moves to be made. You are thinking about rook f1? I mean, it is better to put rook here and to apply additional pressure on this pawn. Okay, Kostya is still thinking. He can also play rook d2 here, but then maybe black can take, we trade, take this pawn too, and now we are taking this one. Okay, so I'm going to show opening because we missed the moves at the beginning. So it was d4, knight f6, c4, e6, and now knight to f3, d5, and g3. And it was this line. Okay, Kostya decides to play queen d2. Yeah, oh, for some reason mods can't change the title. I'm going to try and change it, but I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, title should be updated now. Okay, here we are. My camera stopped working for a second, but we have updated the title and I think that everything is working correctly now. Black played queen c7. Yeah. Now it looks unclear. Maybe queen f2. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard it, but my watch, for some reason, decided to interrupt our stream, but I managed to turn it off. Okay. And Kostya plays queen to f2. And black takes the pawn. What do you think about this endgame, Sam? And others in the chat? Yeah, they decided to go for this endgame. Yeah. And the bad thing is that he can play e5 too now. To stop a white from opening this bishop. Yeah, this looks annoying. But Kostya is thinking here, maybe he wants to capture with G pawn. Okay, no, he played e takes f4, and now we see e5 on the board. This is annoying. And this is definitely annoying. Can white play rook d3 here? No, that's bad. f5, but this bishop is not good. Maybe it's something like this now, but then again, black plays a4. Okay, we see bishop h3 on the board. Kostya wants to get rid of his bad bishop and to trade it. But in this endgame, it looks like black is going to be one putting pressure on white. Now black is thinking. Probably he's going to trade bishops. And play something like rook b8, and then we again play b3, and then a4, rook a b1. He takes. It probably should be equal, but it's tricky. Both sides have weaknesses in their positions. Rook d3 instead of rook b1. Okay. But now he can play rook a8 back, and if he take, then he is going to be putting a lot of pressure on both of these pawns. Actually, he will win one of them, and he's also. I mean, we again do something like this because this pawn is under pin, so something like, let's see, this, and now let's say this he can take here, and we can take back, and we see rook b8 played in the game. Okay, they trade. Kostya decides to trade bishop. Oh, but now he has rook b2 check intermezzo. Yeah. He won pawn. And also his rook is really strong on second rank. Now it is actually losing for white. This is bad. What to do now? All these pawns seem weak now. What do you guys think about the game so far? Yeah, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. Okay. Yeah, we had a great position earlier, but let's see if black decides to trade rooks. But white now has too many weak pawns and black has protected post pawn. So black can play even this. Yeah, now it seems like one of these pawns is going to fall too. Black is still thinking for some reason, but let's see. It seems like they are talking on the video. What happened? Don't know if the game is over, but they are talking. Let me see. Okay, we see moves on the board, but it seems like there is delay. Yeah, Costa resigned. He decided to resign. I think that he had better position in the middle game, but unfortunately in the transition from middle game to end game, he made some mistakes. Yeah, Thank you guys for watching. I'm ending the stream now. Uh, I don't know. Probably someone is going to cover the game tomorrow too. I don't know if it is going to be me or someone else, but